my people, and welcome back to the National Review, powered by Football University. I am your official voice of youth and high school sports, Chad Ricardo, and today we got a great show for you. We're going to be taking a look at a few student athletes from FBU National Champion Team GFL. These are young men who did their thing down in the FBU National Championship in Naples and who could book a return trip for the FBU Freshman All-American Bowl if they show out at FBU camp held in Atlanta. There's also talent in the DMV. I'm going to show you 5 that caught my eye, and while we're at it, I got to sit down with Sean Washington, trainer to some of the top student athletes in the whole entire nation. We're going to ask him why they call him Monster Maker. But before we get to any of that though, All-American Games is the worldwide leader in youth and high school sports. I'm talking about from FBU camp all the way up to the All-American Bowl. Joining me now, a young man who works at our campus in Rockaway, New Jersey, this social media expert. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gus, the guy.
What's up, Chad? Thanks for having me on. I got to help you on a couple of these before, so now I'm excited we can finally get to do one together instead of you and Eric. Richard's always on camera.
Gus, sometimes it's hard to imagine that the show has even gone on without you, bro. Check this out. You have an opportunity to be able to communicate with student athletes who are in the All-American Bowl, with coaches who are former NFL professional athletes, and with the FBU student athletes, the stars of tomorrow. What I want to know from you is, with all of that talent constantly surrounding you, what has your experience been like? What's it like to work at All-American Games?
Working at All-American Games is great. We get to go to so many different venues, interact with so many different athletes. I was an intern here, got to do selection tours, so it was really cool to see some of the athletes in their high school in the regular atmosphere and then see them in San Antonio with the other All-Americans, and then to finally see them on game day was great too. I'm pumped to see some of the kids I built other relationships with. I'm really excited to see Leon O'Neal kill it at Texas A&M. I think that dude is a star in the making, so it's just great. All the different events we get to go to, from FBU, the Top Gun, the National Championships in Naples, Florida, and then the National Combine, and obviously the Bowl. There's nothing better than that. NBC, January 5th, tune in.
All-American Bowl going down in San Antonio. Some of the top student athletes in the nation have already committed to the game. More on deck. What I want to know from you, Gus, is who thus far are you most excited about seeing play in that game?
The guys I'm looking forward to seeing down in San Antonio this January are going to be Nolan Smith down at IMG Academy. Nolan is a gamer. It's just someone that everyone really likes. He's someone who backs his game up. He walks it the way he talks it. So if they beat Modern Day, I think Nolan will be a big part of that. And another guy on the West Coast I'm looking forward to seeing is Chris Steele out of St. John Bosco. Always rise to the occasion. So even in practice, I might have to ask him to tone it down because he loves to lower his shoulder and hit people. He's real physical. So Trey Sanders, another running back out of IMG Academy, and then Grant Cannell, the quarterback out of Texas, one of the first kids who committed to playing the game.
That's what's up. Nolan and Trey had an opportunity to spend some time with them down in San Antonio last year. Definitely good dudes. You recently had an opportunity to attend FBU Charlotte. Player Development Director Freddie Brown, that's my dude. What were your takeaways from that experience?
FBU Charlotte was great. Freddie Brown always does a great job down there in his region. A lot of tickets were punched to Top Gun, National Combine. One of the kids who really stood out to me was Kill Anderson out of Georgia. The kid was real consistent all weekend long during the 1-on-1s and 7-on-7. He's someone I'm looking forward to seeing, hopefully at Top Gun and at the National Combine again. He punched his ticket to both of those. And then the athletes, they get to be around NFL coaches. Some of the headliners there were Billy Whiteshoes, headliner there for the wide receivers, and then Chad Greer, who's been part of the FBU family for a long time with his son Will, and he's also the head coach of the East team this year down in San Antonio. Justin Miller, Pro Bowler for the Jets, does a really good job with the DBs. He brought so much energy to the camp, and all the kids just had a great time with Justin. So
big time student athletes out there in the Carolinas. Definitely shout out to all of them. Freddie Brown as well. I'll get you out of here on this, bro. Last week I had an opportunity to speak with FBU National Championship Team Director Juwan Banks. We talked about 7-on-7. Like you, Juwan is in favor of 7-on-7. He feels as though it's beneficial for the student athletes. You know that all traditional coaches don't feel that way though.
Chad, I'm still trying to figure out the mystery of why coaches don't like it as much. The biggest feedback I've gotten is that They don't like some of the routes that are run. They don't think they're traditional football routes. But if you look at the rules, you only have 4 seconds to throw the ball in a lot of these leagues. So you can't run, I'm a hook to the left, right, spin around in 3 circles, as some of these clips on YouTube might show. So once they actually go out to one, I think they'll start to like it more. And another reason they don't like it is they're not doing school activities. They might not run track, or instead of playing AAU basketball, if you're a guy who plays basketball for your school too, you might decide, I'm going to go play 7-on-7 this year. It's going to force me to miss a couple basketball tournaments with my school. Parents who just don't know the rules, they might not get what travel 7-on-7 is. When they were in high school, it wasn't around, but 7-on-7 is the way of the future. A lot of kids are really benefiting from it.
That was actually a really good answer, but that's all I can take from you, Gus. Gus Ramos, that's it. You are out of here, bro. Thank you for stopping by the review.
Appreciate you having me on. It's always great talking to you. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Gus the guy, social media coordinator, does a ton for the student athletes. I appreciate you, bro. We're going to take a look at the young man from down there at GFL. Atlanta FBU is coming up soon. And why do they call Sean Washington the Monster Maker? It's next on the review.
1, 2, 3, FB, you know! I want to find out how good I am. Yes, sir! If you relax, you get blown out. Let's get it done! Let's get it done!
What can you take advantage of right now?
Again, come on. I can push myself way beyond what you think.
Pressure technique. Do your back.
Team GFL, last year's 8th grade FBU national champion. This was a squad that was stacked from top to bottom. They took out Dallas, they took out Maryland, and they took out Dade on the way to winning that FBU crown. This squad has a ton of student athletes who will be in contention for playing in that freshman All-American game. And FBU Camp Atlanta is their opportunity to strengthen those odds and making their way back to Naples. Here's a look at a few of those student athletes. Zach Johansson, 2-sports star in the class of 2022. 6'1", 185 pounds, excellent size and ability. Terrion Williams, also in the class of 2022, can play multiple positions, gets it done all over the field. Alexander Diggs, 5'8", 140 pounds. This young man is special. Primarily a running back, he's elusive, fast, and has power as well. Denaylon Morissette, considered by many to be the top wide receiver in his class. He's already special and he is just getting started. Keegan better young man. And lastly, Chad Masco, our 8th grade FBU player of the year. Dual threat QB, he's dope inside and outside of the pocket, and he's a leader. Eric Richards, FBU Atlanta, gonna be lit, bro. Not only was that squad great on the field, but they were also tremendous young men off of it. Definitely want to give a shout out to Coach Burge, give a shout out to Coach Gant. I look forward to seeing all of you on the field at FBU Atlanta. Now, training, technique, getting better at your craft every single day, all important aspects to being a successful football player. This sport though is physical, this sport is rough, this sport is tough as well. Another element is strength. In order to dominate on the field, some would say that you need to be more than a man. Some would say you need to be a monster. FBU Northern Virginia rolling into town on the 16th and the 17th of June. I rolled over to PG County, sat down with Sean Washington and asked him, why do they call you Monster Maker? Monster Maker. The name alone synonymous with grind, hustle, hard work, and dedication. Sean Washington, one of the top strength trainers in the nation, loves the playing of the weights, and he cares deeply for the student athletes he works with. His list of clientele are relative who's who of big time performers in the DMV. Some already doing their thing at the next level, and others, well, they got next. I sat down with Sean to find out what it takes to make a monster. You were one of the first real football guys that I met when I first got into the industry. So first of all, thank you for caring about the kids the way that you do.
Most definitely.
You've been in this industry for a while. How'd you get started?
Basically, back in 2012, I decided to not deal with the general population anymore and start dealing with the athletes. So I was able to meet a guy named Randy Richardson over off of Forbes Boulevard. He had a facility. My first kid was Abdul Adams.
Wow.
And then from that point on, it went to Terrell, Corey Brown, and just started to grow.
The name Monster Maker, where did that come from?
That actually came from Scott Cochran, the University of Alabama,
Okay.
strength coach.
Yeah.
I really liked that guy, and I saw a little segment where he was interviewing, I think it was Trent Richardson.
Right.
And he was like, "Do you know who I am?" And Trent was like, "Ooh," he said, "This little man's a monster. I'm a monster maker." And that point on, I was like, "Yo, I like that name."
You out here creating those monsters. You mentioned Alabama. Of course, Terrell Lewis,
Right.
of course, is down there. You already mentioned Abdul, which is who I first met you through, is covering him. Talk to me about them. What other student athletes have you assisted with?
You got Sean Savoy at Virginia Tech. You have Juan Wallace at Syracuse. Jermaine Waller, that's another one at Virginia Tech. Keyshawn, Steve Wilson, they're at Old Dominion. So I have various kids that are in various schools, and I have a couple of kids that's going out this year. I'm blessed, that's all I can say.
When you look at Terrell Lewis, when you first met him,
Right.
did you know? Did you see it in him?
I saw it in him. He really didn't, I don't think, saw it in himself so much so, because he wanted to play basketball also. And when I'm looking at his frame, and I'm like, you really need to be playing totally football.
Correct.
Because you're going to be mid-major at basketball at most. But with your frame, it could be ridiculous. But I saw from the very beginning when I first met him, he was actually working out with Shot Doc, basketball, AAU training. And I was like, nah, bro.
Come on over here.
Your jump shots are broken. You have no handle. Let's just focus on football.
You got a future in football.
Yeah.
And the list of top-notch student athletes doesn't stop there. It also includes Jalen Twyman, now at Pitt, Christian Braswell of Temple, and Ryan Thaxton at Tennessee. And for all of the work Sean does with weights, he has a great teammate for additional development.
I specialize in all of the speed and explosive work with all of the athletes. So while Sean does all of the strength and conditioning, I piggyback and do all of their speed work and make sure they're explosive.
When parents look for places, for facilities for their student athletes to train, what should they be looking for in a facility?
First and foremost, the trainers, how passionate they are about what they do. But also, I would look at the kids that they've pushed out of there, kids that they've trained in the past. It's almost like you're looking at a resume.
Right.
Where have you been before here? What have you done before this? So when you start to look at the resume, you see the kids, then to me, there's no question of this being a place where kids want to train.
What all do you have to offer? What do you specialize in here?
Kid focuses on the speed part and doing the conditioning, and I focus on the strength. Like, I don't do anything else but focus on strength. Because to me, the game is so advanced.
Correct.
That when you're trying to do multiple things, you're not really effective. It's watered down. My goal is to get you strong.
Right.
That's the strength coach. That's what I do.
Right.
If you're not getting stronger, then I'm not doing my job.
We create monsters around here.
That's all I do. That's all I'm doing. I'm focusing on that and that only.
We look at the logo here. Why be average?
I'll be average.
For all of the student athletes, all of the parents out there that are watching right now, why should they come to you?
If you talk to any of my kids that train with me, that have trained with me in the past, they know when they come into the facility, they're my kid.
Yeah.
I truly love the kids. It's not about money. I love the kids. I really want to see them do well. And like I have a couple of kids like Jamree Comrade. He was a kid that wasn't even on the radar coming in. Nobody even knew about him.
Right.
And he was able to develop into a first team All-Met kid. Wow. Now he's going off to Rutgers University. Like, I love my kids and I love what I do. I just think it's about passion. A person who really loving the kids, really loving what they do.
And see, I couldn't have said that better myself, bro. That's what I keep trying to tell people out here.
Right.
Monster Maker, Sean, why be average?
Appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Shout out to my dude, Sean. The DMV has talent, and I'm introducing you to more of it next. 5 that caught my eye.
Drive home safely. See you next season.
American Bowl is brought to you by Football University. FBU, bringing former NFL coaches and players from all around the country.
FBU camps are in full swing. They're rolling into Northern Virginia on June the 16th and the 17th. They'll be down in Alexandria. Here's the deal. Come out, perform, do your thing. Earn your Top Gun invite. Earn that National Combine invite. Be considered for the Freshman All-American Bowl and even, potentially, the All-American Bowl, the greatest all-star game in the nation. I'm going to be there. Freddie Brown is going to be in the building and you should too. Here's a few of my dudes, a few young men that we like to call Top Gun targets.
DeAndre Rick, 7th grade running back. Young man is long, quick, and athletic. Come on out and continue getting better, young man. He has Top Gun written all over him. Cameron Boykin, FBU National Championship alum. He's a quarterback. He's been down to Naples and he's all about improving his game. Keep on working, my dude. Rock Hill is around the corner. JoJo Henry, FBU camp alum. Everything about my dude Joe is impressive. On the field, in the classroom, and with his work ethic. Would love to see JoJo and the fam down in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Dejan Carter Williams, arguably the top running back in the FBU National Championship, and that was for good reason. He's slick, he's explosive, and his upside is off the charts. Ideal student athlete to come on out and learn from former NFL stars. Justin Gibson, this young man has it running through his veins, bro. It's in his DNA. He's always had the skill. Now he's gaining the size, and with technique, Justin Gibson could be a freshman All-American candidate. FBU Northern Virginia going down June the 16th and the 17th. Me and Freddie Brown, we'll see you there.
That's going to do it for today's show. I want to thank each and every one of my guests, all of the student athletes that we showcased. Until we meet next time, I am your official voice of youth and high school sports, Chad Ricardo. I'll see you next week. Happy birthday, Mom.